Let's first demonstrate how to crochet the flower core part. First, take a look at the flower, which is made up of two colors, the flower core color and the petal color. So I'll first demonstrate how to crochet the flower core, then you can follow my flower core tutorial to crochet all the cores in the colors you need. Hold the yarn in your left hand, wrap it around your little finger once. Then press it under your ring finger and middle finger. Then use your index finger to push the yarn. Hold the other end of the yarn with your left thumb and middle finger, so that there is some yarn between your thumb and index finger. Hold the crochet hook in your right hand. You can use the pencil grip or the knife grip. For crocheting this flower, the pencil grip might make the process smoother, but adjust according to what feels comfortable for you. First, make a knot and keep the hook pressed against the yarn. Then turn it down and around in a circle to come back. At this point there's a loop on the hook. Use your thumb to gently hold this loop in place. Insert the hook into the loop, yarn over, and pull through, then tighten. This is our starting knot. For the flower core, we need to begin with 6 chain stitches. Press the hook against the yarn, yarn over, and draw through, completing 1 chain stitch. We need to make 6 chains in total. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After completing the 6 chain stitches, we will join with a slip stitch into the top of the first chain. The first chain is easy to spot. This is our first braid. The V shape formed by these 2 strands is the position of our first chain stitch. Then we turn the chain section to the wrong side, where you can see small bumps. These bumps are the back bumps of the chain stitches. We will insert the hook into the back bump of the first stitch. Then make a slip stitch. Yarn over and pull through the stitch. Now there are 2 loops on the hook. At this point, simply pull the left loop on the hook through the right loop, and 1 slip stitch is completed. Now we begin crocheting the second row of the flower core. Here's a small tip: when crocheting the flower core, you can easily hide the yarn tail inside at the same time. Place this yarn tail between the hook and the yarn, press it down, and continue crocheting. First, make a chain stitch, yarn over and pull through the loop. 1 chain stitch is done. The next crochet stitch will be worked into the hole of this ring. Insert the hook into the center of the ring. Then work 12 single crochets. The way to make a single crochet is to yarn over and pull through. There are 2 loops on the hook, then yarn over and pull through both loops at once, and 1 single crochet is completed. We place a stitch marker in the first single crochet of this round. Next, follow the single crochet method, and work 12 single crochets into this ring. While crocheting the single crochets, I will also hide the yarn tail inside. First, insert the hook into the center of the ring, leave a little loop from the yarn tail, wrap it around like the ring, and place it onto the hook. Use the middle and ring finger of your right hand to gently hold the other end of the yarn tail in place, then continue crocheting the single crochet. 2 single crochets. At this point, you can see the part where we hid the yarn tail forms a small loop behind the chain ring. For the rest of the round, continue crocheting single crochets as normal. Then, when pulling through the loops, we need to go through both the chain ring and the loop behind to work the single crochet. This way, the yarn tail is hidden at the same time, so you don't need to weave it in separately after finishing. If you're not very experienced and find this method confusing, you can skip hiding the tail for now and weave it in later after you're done. I've now completed 12 single crochets, and I need to join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet, where we place the stitch marker. Insert the hook directly into the first stitch, and remove the stitch marker. We need to work one slip stitch here. Simply yarn over, pull through, then yarn over again, and pull through the loop already on the hook. Then cut the yarn. Pull the yarn tail through, and this becomes the center of the flower. The yarn tail we just hid can now be trimmed off at this point. With that, the flower center is complete. All the flower centers are worked using this same method. This is the fabric piece I've completed for the flower centers. For the flower centers, I suggest arranging each pair of colors together, and then working them in pairs. For example, these two are a pair, these two are a pair, and these two are a pair. Place them together. I don't recommend finishing all the centers at once before starting the flowers. If you do, the number becomes too large and it's easy to lose or mix them up. I suggest working 6 or 7 at a time, placing them aside, and then starting on the flowers. Once those are done, make more centers, then more flowers. This way, the number you're working with at any time stays small. And you won't end up with confusion or missing pieces. Now in this video, we'll begin explaining how to crochet the flower sections. First, I'll demonstrate how to work and join the first row of the flower. We'll start with the first color group, which has a white center, and for the petals, we'll use this yarn. First, take the fabric piece weave, already crocheted for the flower center. Normally, you'd insert the hook at the slip stitch position, but I personally prefer to start at the stitch to the right of the slip stitch. I think inserting the hook here creates a smaller hole, but this can be adjusted based on your own preference. We'll start by inserting into the first stitch, yarn over with the color for the petals, pull through, and then work 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Next, we'll begin crocheting the first petal. For the petals, we use treble crochet stitches, which means we need to yarn over twice before inserting into the stitch. First wrap. Second wrap. Then we'll insert into the second stitch from the hook to start working. Insert into the next stitch and work 1 treble crochet. After completing 1 treble crochet stitch, we'll immediately work another treble crochet stitch. Yarn over twice on the hook again. Pay attention that the second treble crochet and the first treble crochet are both inserted into the same stitch. Then yarn over and pull through. At this point, there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops in one go. There are still 3 loops left on the hook. Yarn over again, and go through the next 2 loops. Now 2 loops remain on the hook. Yarn over once more and pull through both loops at once. This completes 2 treble crochet stitches. Next, work 2 chain stitches, yarn over and pull through directly, yarn over and pull through again. Once the 2 chain stitches are done, continue by working 2 more treble crochet stitches in the same stitch. Yarn over twice on the hook, insert into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, then yarn over again, and pull through the remaining 2 loops. Yarn over twice on the hook again. Insert into the same stitch. Yarn over and pull out. Draw the yarn through the first 2 loops in one go. Pass through the next 2 loops. Go through the remaining 2 loops. Now I've completed 2 treble crochet stitches. At this point, let me explain. After working 3 chain stitches in the first stitch, in the second stitch we need to complete 2 treble crochets, 2 chain stitches, and then 2 more treble crochets. Then we'll work 3 more chain stitches. At this stage, we need to make a slip stitch in the next stitch. We were just in this stitch, so now we need to insert into the next stitch, and draw the yarn through. Make a slip stitch. This completes 1 petal, the remaining 5 petals will all be worked in the same way. Now, one thing to note is that after completing these 3 chain stitches, and the slip stitch, we'll start the next 3 chain stitches right away. These 3 chains actually correspond to the 3 chains we started with on the previous petal. Next, work 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. One. 2. Then work 2 chain stitches, and continue by working 2 more treble crochets into the same stitch. One. 2. Then work 3 chain stitches. We'll slip stitch into the next stitch. The second petal is now completed. You can finish the remaining petals on this round on your own. Now we've reached the last petal, which is the 6th one. After completing the 3 chain stitches, we need to slip stitch into the stitch of the very first chain 3 space we started with. It's this spot right here. After the slip stitch, we'll cut the yarn directly. Pull out the yarn tail. This completes our first flower. When we crocheted the first flower, there was no need to connect it with any other flower. We'll start connecting from the second flower. Now that the first piece is done, we'll set it aside for now, and take out the second piece. This piece I'm using has been frogged before, so the holes might be a bit larger. If yours hasn't been frogged, it should look just like the small centerpiece we just finished. Take out the yarn for the second color petal. We'll first crochet 2 normal petals, and during the process, weave the yarn tails directly into the petals. I've already finished crocheting 2 regular petals, and hidden the yarn tail inside them. Starting from the 3rd petal, we'll begin connecting to the first flower. In the first row, we'll connect only two, one on the left half, and one on the right half. This means there will still be two petals remaining on the top and bottom. We start connecting from the first piece, whether going left or right, but we only need to connect one side. We'll start connecting from the third petal. We need to connect at the chain stitch position in the middle of the petal. So we'll first finish the part to the right of the chain stitch, crocheting up to that chain stitch before connecting. We'll start with 3 chain stitches, then work 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. Now the part to the right of the chain stitch is finished. In the middle are 2 chain stitches, so we'll start with 1 chain stitch first. After finishing that, we'll enlarge the loop. Then take the first petal and position it with the right side facing you. Insert the crochet hook from top to bottom through the chain space in the middle of the petal. After passing through, insert the hook into the enlarged loop. Then pull the loop through the chain space of the first flower's petal, and once pulled through, complete the second chain stitch. Now the middle chain stitch section is done. After that, finish the remaining part of this petal. The connection part is now completed. The rest of the petal can be crocheted normally. We make the connection while crocheting the first row, and it only happens once. But the final effect shows that each petal in this row has 2 connected petals. Because the second petal connects to the first flower, on the left, that's one connection. Then the third flower connects to the second flower's petal, so each flower appears to have 2 connected petals. I've now completed the connection between the first and second petals, and you can see that only this middle petal was used for the connection. When connecting the third and second petals, be mindful that the connection needs to be made horizontally across the petals. The connected petals should form a straight line. The middle flower has 2 petals connecting on the top, and 2 petals connecting on the bottom. That's the only part you need to pay attention to. That's how the first row goes. Just keep connecting until it's complete, and then the first row is done. In this video, I'll share with you the joining method from the second row all the way to the end. I've already finished the first and second rows. This forms one complete sequence. Once we get to the third row, the colors are exactly the same as in the first row. So for the third row, just follow the same color pattern as the first row. Next comes the joining, which is divided into the first petal's connection, and the connections for the remaining petals. This means that only the first petal is slightly different. When connecting, it connects 2 petals, while each of the following petals connects 3 petals during the process. Next, I'll share with you how to connect the first petal of the third row. Just like in the first row, after crocheting the first 2 petals, I've already made the 3 chain stitches for the third petal. Similarly, we first crochet 2 treble crochets before the chain stitch. One stitch. 2 stitches. After completing the 2 treble crochets, make 1 chain stitch and enlarge the loop. Take a look at the previous petal, the connection is made to the two petals directly facing it. This means once you've connected those two petals, there should be only one petal left on your right side. That's correct. Start inserting the hook into the petal on the right side, go through the front side of the petal from top to bottom, then loop the yarn over the hook, pull tight, and pull it through the petal. After pulling it through, make one chain stitch, then continue completing the remaining petals of this FL. Two treble crochets. Three chain stitches. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Then make 3 more chain stitches. Hook 2 treble crochets into the next stitch. Then make 1 chain stitch. After making the chain stitch, we'll enlarge the chain loop. Previously we connected the right side petal, now we'll insert the hook through the hole of the left side petal, and pull the loop through. Then make another chain stitch. Next, finish crocheting the remaining part of this flower. That's the connection method for our first stitch. For the connection of the second petal, first we need to connect these two petals of the second petal from the previous row, plus the petal on its right side. The left side petal will actually be connected by its next flower. So right now we only need to focus on the petal on its right side, meaning we're connecting these 3 petals. Corresponding to the connection position of this flower, it's actually the left side petal of the first flower, and the 2 petals below the second flower from the previous row. That's our connection starting point from the second flower. Now I've reached the position where I need to connect. The first 2 treble crochets have already been made. Next, make 1 chain stitch, and enlarge the loop as before. We'll connect in a counterclockwise direction from right to left, starting with this petal first. From top to bottom, pull the yarn of this purple petal through the hole. After pulling it through, make 1 chain stitch. Then finish the remaining 2 treble crochets. Make 3 chain stitches, then join with a slip stitch in the next stitch. Our first connection point is now complete. Next, for the second connection point, we'll first finish crocheting half of the petal. 3 chain stitches, then 2 treble crochets. After finishing, make 1 chain stitch first, and enlarge the loop. At this point, following the counterclockwise direction, we should connect the right side petal first. Insert the hook here. After pulling it through, make 1 chain stitch. Then finish the remaining part of this petal. Then make 3 chain stitches. Make 3 more chain stitches. 2 treble crochets. After finishing the 2 treble crochets, make 1 chain stitch and enlarge the loop. Now we're going to connect the third petal, which is the left petal of the green flower from the previous group. Insert the hook into the left petal to connect it. Next, finish crocheting the remaining part of this petal. Now my second petal is connected. What we've connected is the left petal of the previous flower, and the bottom petal of the one above it. We connect 3 petals like this, and the rest of this row is done the same way. This is our joining method. Next, just follow what I just demonstrated, and connect 3 petals like this. Once we've connected all the small flowers from the milk cotton yarn, we'll crochet the lace petals. During this process, we'll also connect them to these empty spaces. This step might be a bit tricky, but these petals aren't too difficult, and the joining method is the same for all petals. So once you know how to crochet one petal, you can do them all. This part requires a bit of attention. During the process, you need to keep your blanket in a fixed direction. For example, the way I have it positioned now is the same flat direction I use throughout. This side is the top, and this side is the bottom. You need to fix this direction clearly. This way, the insertion position for each petal in the middle will be the same. If you don't fix the direction properly, you might get a bit confused when connecting. Because when connecting with the milk cotton, we have 2 insertion points to pay attention to. This is important for everyone to note. During the process, you don't have to keep it perfectly aligned like this. You can use a stitch marker to mark the upward direction. Just make sure you know which way is the top. Now let's take a look at how this lace motif is crocheted. We only connect this motif to the main blanket made with milk cotton yarn when we crochet the 3rd round. When crocheting the first 2 rounds, we don't need to connect anything. First, take out our lace yarn, chain 4 stitches, place the hook under the yarn, and wrap it around once. Now there's a loop on the hook, yarn over and pull through to complete a slip knot. Next, we'll start crocheting the first chain stitch. Hook under the yarn, yarn over, and pull through, 1 chain, 2 chains, 3 chains, 4 chains. At this point, pay attention. When we're making chain stitches, we don't need to pull the yarn too tightly. Now we need to switch to a 3 mm crochet hook. It's a different size from the one we used for the main part, so be mindful of that. Insert the hook into the hole of the first chain stitch, and make a slip stitch. At this point, we can tuck the yarn tail from earlier into the fabric together. After completing the slip stitch, continue with 2 more chain stitches. After completing the 2 chain stitches, yarn over the hook, and insert the hook into the hole we just connected. A hole is formed after the chain connection. Find that hole and insert the hook from there. Then thread the yarn tail to the back and hide it. Wrap it around the back of the hook, then use your left middle finger to gently press it down before continuing crocheting. Next, we'll make 1 double crochet stitch. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over again, and pull through the remaining 2 loops. This completes the first flower pattern. Now we'll make 1 chain stitch. The second flower pattern is the same. We don't need to make a chain stitch this time. We'll directly work 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over once. Insert the hook into the hole we just made, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook in one go. This is one incomplete double crochet stitch. Now work the second incomplete double crochet, yarn over again, insert the hook into the loop. Yarn over and pull through. At this point, there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops at once. Now there are 3 loops left on the hook. This is what 2 incomplete double crochets look like. After completing 2 incomplete double crochets, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops in one go. Now make 1 chain stitch, the second stitch is done. Let me demonstrate again. Yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into the loop, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops in one go. Yarn over the hook, insert into the loop, yarn over and pull through, then pull through the first 2 loops at once. Yarn over and pull through all remaining 3 loops in one go. Make 1 chain stitch, that's it. In the first step, you need to crochet 8 identical motifs like this. I've already completed 8 identical motifs. For example, during the process, if you lose track of how many motifs you've made, you can spread out the fabric piece and check, each 2 motifs form a group. Once you count 8 groups, you know you're correct. Next, after completing the 8th motif, we'll join with a slip stitch. Let's check the slip stitch position. This is our first group of motifs. For the first group of motifs, after crocheting 2 chain stitches, we made a double crochet. We need to insert the hook through the hole of that double crochet. You can see the 2 chain stitches, and below them is another chain stitch, then under that chain stitch is the double crochet. Insert the hook through that hole, then pull the yarn through. Then pull through the loop directly to make a slip stitch. That completes the center part of the motif. The following steps are very simple. After the slip stitch, we'll crochet 5 chain stitches directly, then make a slip stitch in the next group of motifs. This is our first group of motifs. When looking at the next group of motifs, you can spread out the fabric piece a bit. There's 1 chain stitch in between. The next chain stitch is actually where we'll insert the hook for the next group of motifs. Let's take a look at these 5 chain stitches. We'll insert the hook into this stitch. We'll insert the hook into the next chain stitch, that looks bigger, and make a slip stitch. Pull the yarn through. That completes 1 slip stitch. Next, repeat the previous steps, still start with 5 chain stitches. Skip 1 chain stitch, then insert the hook into the chain stitch of the next motif group. Make a slip stitch. 2 are done. 5 chain stitches, skip 1 chain stitch, insert into the next chain stitch. Still skip 1 chain stitch, and insert into the next one. You can see it perfectly matches the previous group of motifs. We'll complete this round. After finishing the 5 chain stitches of the last group, check the joining position. It's in the first stitch, which is where we started with the first 5 chain stitches earlier. Make a slip stitch. The second round is now complete. After finishing, we'll count the small loops. There should be 8 in total. Next, we'll work on the third round. When crocheting this round, we need to connect it to the main part of the blanket, a total of 8 connection points. That means we can clearly see 4 points first, the positions where every 2 petals are connected. There are 4 connection points in total. In addition to these 4 connection points, there is one more connection point in the middle between the 2 petals of each flower, so that makes 8 connection points in total. During the connection process, we'll start by inserting the hook into the 2 connection points on the right-hand side. The third round is worked into the 5 chain stitches of the second round. The only difference is that before we start crocheting in the first chain space, we need to make 2 chain stitches first. After completing the 2 chain stitches, we'll insert the hook into the first 5 chain loop and make 1 single crochet. These 2 chain stitches are only needed before the first group of motifs. For the following groups, you can start crocheting directly on the 5 chain stitches, no need for the 2 extra chains. After completing the single crochets in this row, start with 2 chain stitches. The 2 chain stitches are done. The next step is to pick up the main part of the blanket. Insert the hook into the connection point between the 2 petals on the right-hand side, that position. At this point, we need to first fold the 2 petal sections of the main part to the wrong side. The connection point is at that position. Our first stitch will be inserted into the back strand of the yarn below the connection point. That's where we'll start crocheting. Take a closer look. Above the connection point, there are actually 2 strands of yarn. This is a normal V shape. When we flip it over, there's one strand underneath, and that's the one we need to insert the hook into. Insert the hook from bottom to top, picking up the inner strand. Pull the lace yarn through with the hook and make a chain stitch. That's the third chain stitch. Next, crochet 2 more chain stitches. The third row still has 5 chain stitches in total. The 5 chain stitches are done, and one side has already been connected to the main part. Next, insert the hook into the next petal right next to the first flower pattern, and work a single crochet directly. The first stitch is connected. For each of the following connections, first make 2 chain stitches, then connect at the third chain stitch. After completing the connection, work a single crochet on the next circle. Then start with 2 chain stitches, and take a look at the main part of the blanket. We just finished connecting at this position. After completing the next connection point, there's still this area in between that needs to be connected. That means after connecting the 2 petals of the 2 flowers, we'll go back to connecting between the 2 petals of a single flower. So we'll make the connection on this white petal. Flip this petal over, and you can clearly see a V shape. This is the V formed when crocheting the 3 chain stitches between the 2 petals. Insert the hook from the right side of this V shape. Thread through the first line. Thread through the second line, and at this point, you'll see a V shape on your hook. This V goes from right to left. Now take the lace yarn we used earlier. Pull it through the V shape, and complete a chain stitch. The connection for the second point is now done. Next, crochet 2 chain stitches, then work a single crochet into the third loop. So far, the connections for 2 points have been completed. The third point is at the connection between the 2 flowers above. Insert the hook from that upper position. The next 3 connection points will all be inserted from the same position. Only the first stitch is connected from the lower part of the ridge below. The part I'm referring to is the first point, the connection point above. The second point is the left connection point. The third point is the bottom connection point. The insertion position is always the thread that's closer to you. For example, at the next third connection point. This petal is unfolded, and at the connection you can see an upper thread and a lower thread. We're connecting in the lower part, so you just insert the hook into the lower thread. Then for the left petal and the right petal, if you're not sure which petal to insert from, you can look at the horizontal line in the middle of each connection point. Right now it looks vertical, but when I turn it horizontal, there's a line like this going across. We insert the hook into the petal of the color where this horizontal line is. Next is the connection for the third stitch. First, still make 2 chain stitches. Then pick up our main part. Flip it to the back. Insert the hook into the hole in the middle. Then yarn over and make a chain stitch. This completes the third connection. Then make 2 chain stitches, and work 1 single crochet into the next loop. Right after that, make 2 more chain stitches, and we'll do the connection for the fourth stitch. For the fourth stitch, connect in the middle part between 2 petals of the green flower. The connections on top of the flower are actually the same. If you flip it to the back, it's still 2 V's. Look for 2 V's. Then we insert the hook from right to left. This way, there will be a V shape on the crochet hook. Then pull the yarn through. Make 2 chain stitches. Work 1 single crochet into the next loop. Make 2 more chain stitches. We've now reached the next petal connection. First, let's identify where we need to insert the hook on this petal. Look for the vertical lines. Insert the hook at the position of the purple petal. Flip it over. Insert the hook from the purple section. Then check if it's on the side that's closest to us. Pull the yarn through. Make 2 more chain stitches to complete the connection for this section. Work 1 single crochet into the next loop, then make 2 chain stitches. Next, we move to the petal connection. Again, insert the hook from right to left in the V shape. Pull the yarn through. Make 2 chain stitches. The 6th connection is done. Work 1 single crochet into the next loop, then make 2 chain stitches. Now we've reached the last petal connection. Let's check which petal we need to insert the hook into. The left one doesn't have vertical lines, but the right one does, so we'll insert the hook into the right purple section. The last stitch is easy to see. Insert the hook from bottom to top, making sure the petal is facing the right way. Pull the yarn through. Next, make 2 chain stitches, then work 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Make 2 more chain stitches. Now we've reached the 8th connection, between these 2 petals of the yellow flower. Again, turn the flower over. Pick up the yarn from right to left in the V-shaped stitch. Then pull the yarn through and make 2 chain stitches. This connection is now complete. Let's check where we should join with a slip stitch after finishing these last 2 chain stitches. The joining position is in the single crochet stitch of the first loop. This is the first loop. These 2 stitches are the 2 chain stitches we made at the beginning. A single crochet stitch has 2 strands of yarn. Insert the hook into the single crochet stitch. Join with a slip stitch. Cut the yarn. Pull the yarn through. The connection for this stitch is now complete. Each motif is connected like this, so you'll need a bit more patience when joining. Since there are quite a few motifs, you'll need more patience during the joining process. Once the main part of the blanket is completely finished, we'll crochet the border. Crocheting the border is simple, and the pattern is always the same. I'll demonstrate the technique for the corner position here. There are 2 situations for crocheting the border. One is when you're edging between 2 petals. The other is when there's only 1 petal in that row that needs edging. The method is the same for both. First, let's explain the crochet method for the petal section. For the petal section, you work single crochets all around, 5 single crochets per petal. First, let's take a look at the insertion point. You can see that each petal is made up of 2 treble crochets, 1 chain in the middle, and then another 2 treble crochets. We'll skip the 3 chain stitches on the far left, and the 3 chain stitches on the far right. The first stitch will go into the stitch loop of the treble crochet, and then you work 1 single crochet. The second stitch is also inserted into the stitch loop of the treble crochet, work 1 single crochet. That completes the first 2 single crochets. Next, for the third stitch, insert your hook into the chain space in the middle where the 4 treble crochets are joined, then work 1 single crochet. The third single crochet is now complete. For the fourth single crochet, insert your hook again into the hole of the treble crochet, hook the yarn and pull through, then thread through both loops at once. That's the fourth single crochet. The fifth single crochet is also inserted into the stitch loop of the treble crochet. Hook the yarn and pull through. That completes the 5 single crochets for the first petal. After completing these 5 single crochets, you'll notice that this entire row has 2 petals ready to be worked. We'll connect the 2 petals with 2 chain stitches. The insertion points and the stitch techniques are exactly the same for the next petal. You'll still work 5 single crochets on it. Insert the hook into the stitch loop of the first treble crochet. Hook the yarn and pull through, yarn over, then thread through both loops at once. One single crochet is completed. Insert the hook into the stitch loop of the next treble crochet. Hook the yarn and pull through, then thread through both loops. The second single crochet is completed. Now insert the hook into the chain space in the middle. Hook the yarn and pull through. The third single crochet is now completed. For the fourth single crochet, insert the hook into the treble crochet stitch loop, and hook the yarn through. The fourth single crochet is completed. For the fifth single crochet, insert into the treble crochet stitch again. The 5 single crochets for the second petal are now finished, and the edging around the petal section is also completed. Next, take a look at the middle section we need to work on. It has a very clear inward curve. This is the joining point between the two flowers. The purpose of working this joining section is to fill in the dip in the middle, just like how we've used motifs below to fill in spaces. The idea here is the same. So when working this section, we'll be using a variety of stitch techniques. After completing the 2 petals, we'll still connect them with 2 chain stitches. Once the 2 chain stitches are done, take a look at the insertion point at the join. First, look at the flower on the right side. After connecting, there are 2 treble crochets below and 2 above. We'll ignore the lower part, as our edging only involves the 2 treble crochets on top. The insertion point is the same as with the petals. Insert into the stitch loop of the treble crochet. We'll insert the hook directly through the large space between the 2 petals. Just like before, we'll work 5 stitches on these 2 petals. For the first stitch, work 1 double crochet, yarn over, insert into the stitch loop of the treble crochet, then pull the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. First, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Then yarn over again, and pull through the remaining 2 loops. The first stitch is now completed. Next, at the position of the next treble crochet on the petal, work 1 treble crochet. Wrap the yarn around the hook twice, then insert into the stitch of the next treble crochet, and pull the yarn through. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, then through the next 2 loops. Then pull through the last 2 loops. 1 treble crochet is completed. The insertion point for the third stitch is the hole right under where the 2 petals are connected. Make sure to insert at this exact spot. Work 1 triple treble crochet. Yarn over 3 times. There are now 4 loops on the hook. Insert directly into this hole and pull the yarn through. Now there are 5 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Yarn over again, then pull through the next 2 loops. Then yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, and yarn over again, and pull through the last 2 loops. 1 triple treble crochet is completed. The right side is worked as a double crochet, a treble crochet, and a triple treble crochet. The left side uses the opposite stitch pattern of the right side. Next is 1 treble crochet. The insertion point is still in the stitch of the treble crochet on the left petal. The insertion point for this stitch is in the lower treble crochet stitch. Pull the yarn through. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, then yarn over again, and pull through the remaining 2 loops. 1 treble crochet is completed. Next, work 1 double crochet, yarn over the hook. Insert into the upper treble crochet stitch, and work 1 double crochet. The middle connecting section is now completed. You can see that the next part involves edging around the 2 petal sections. Just like the demonstration earlier, you simply repeat this same set of stitches continuously. One thing to note is that after completing the last double crochet in the middle, you still need to work 2 chain stitches. Once those 2 chain stitches are completed, 1 pattern repeat is finished. From the first single crochet at the beginning of the petal to the final 2 chain stitches, the first row of the entire edging follows this same pattern repeat. Even at the corners, there is no need for extra increases, we just continue working in the same way. Let me demonstrate how to work the corner for you. My sample is now worked up to this point. Next, we reach the flower at the corner. The edging technique for the corner flower remains exactly the same, we simply treat it as a separate, individual flower without a connecting section in the middle. So for this corner, we just complete all 3 petals using the same edging method for petals. The first stitch is still worked into the treble crochet stitch on the right, make 1 single crochet. Second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet. Fifth single crochet. The 5 single crochets for the first petal are completed. Next, chain 2 to move to the second petal. Make 1 single crochet. Second single crochet. Third single crochet. Fourth single crochet, fifth single crochet. After completing the second petal, you can see that these 2 petals actually belong to the edging of this row we just worked on. When you reach the corner to crochet the third petal, you're actually moving to the edging of the next side. On the next side, you'll only crochet 1 petal, that's the only difference. Crochet 2 chain stitches and turn your work directly. Crochet 5 more single crochets on the third petal. This completes the corner edging. Next, we move to the side with only 1 petal, the crocheting method remains the same. Once the 5 single crochets on the petal section are done, you'll now reach the groove section again. Just like before, start by crocheting 2 chain stitches to connect. Insert your hook into the treble crochet stitch at the top of the upper petal. Crochet 1 double crochet. Next, yarn over twice with your hook, then insert it into the next treble crochet stitch, and crochet a treble crochet. Yarn over 3 times with your hook, and insert it into the middle connecting spot. Crochet 1 triple crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert your hook into the lower treble crochet stitch of the left petal, and crochet a treble crochet. Then insert into the upper treble crochet stitch of the same petal, and crochet a double crochet. Finish with 2 chain stitches. The first flower pattern of this row is now complete. Next, crochet 1 petal, connect in the middle, then crochet another petal and connect again. Keep repeating this sequence until the end of the round. For the second round, simply crochet a row of single crochets all the way around. The key is to pay attention to the insertion points for the single crochets. I'll use 1 flower pattern as an example again. In actual crocheting, everyone can follow the repeating technique for each pattern group. First, on the part above the petal, work 1 single crochet into each stitch. Insert your hook into the first single crochet of the petal, yarn over and pull through. Yarn over and pull through both loops on the hook, that's 1 stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. 4 stitches. 5 stitches. The 5 single crochets on the petal are now complete. At the position of the 2 chain stitches from the previous round, crochet 2 single crochets as well. Simply insert your hook through the middle hole. 1 single crochet. 2 single crochets. Next, we're at the 5 single crochets. Still, work 1 single crochet into each stitch. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. 3 stitches. 4 stitches. 5 stitches. After completing the 5 single crochets, we now reach the position of 2 chain stitches. Again, insert your hook under this loop and crochet 2 single crochets. This is the edging technique for one group of petals. We just repeat single crochets. Next, I'll demonstrate how to start. For the first stitch, choose a position with 2 petals, then find the first stitch of the right side petal to insert your hook. First, crochet 3 chain stitches, and after completing them, work 2 incomplete double crochets in the same stitch. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. There are still 2 loops left on the hook. Yarn over. Continue inserting into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through. Now there are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pass through the first 2 loops. The 2 incomplete double crochets are now done. There are now 3 loops left on the hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops at once. Our first stitch actually counts as completing half of the full flower pattern, meaning we're splitting it down the middle. What we're crocheting now is the left half of the flower. When we reach the last stitch at the end, we'll complete the right half of this flower pattern. So after finishing this one flower pattern, immediately crochet 3 chain stitches. Once the 3 chain stitches are done, skip 2 stitches and insert the hook into the 3rd stitch. Crochet 1 single crochet. Then crochet 3 chain stitches again. Insert the hook into the next stitch, and crochet 1 single crochet. The first flower pattern at the beginning is now complete. After finishing this, we begin the second group of flower patterns. Starting from the second flower pattern, we simply repeat the crochet method for each group until the second to last group at the end. Then, we'll complete the other half of the first flower pattern. So next, I'll demonstrate how to crochet the second flower pattern. After completing this single crochet, continue with 3 chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches. Insert the hook into the third stitch, and make 2 incomplete double crochets. 1, 2. Then yarn over and pull through all loops at once. Then work 3 chain stitches. Continue inserting into the same stitch, and make 2 more incomplete double crochets. Yarn over again, and pull through all loops at once. This completes the crochet work for this stitch. Now continue with 3 chain stitches. Skip 2 stitches, then insert into the third stitch and work 1 single crochet. Then 3 chain stitches. Work 1 single crochet into the next stitch. 1 complete flower pattern is now done. The following sections will simply repeat the second flower pattern all the way to the end. Keep in mind that no adjustments are needed at the corners because there are no increases at the corners. Just follow the same method as above. While crocheting, I'll show you a way to check if the stitch count is correct. Each petal has 5 stitches, and after those 5, we added 2 chain stitches, making a total of 7 stitches. Our flower pattern also consists of 7 stitches per group, so all you need to check is whether the first stitch of each large flower pattern aligns with the first stitch of the petal. If it does, then everything should be fine. The same logic applies to the middle connecting sections. Check whether the insertion point of the first stitch on the larger petal in the middle aligns with the first stitch of the flower pattern. If it does, then there's no problem. This helps prevent mistakes while crocheting. Please complete this entire round on your own. Now let's look at how to work the last stitch. It's also worked on the last petal. This is where the single crochet ends. For the last group of the flower pattern, we need to complete it. Continue working the same sequence as before. After the single crochet, work 3 chain stitches. Skip the next 2 stitches below and insert the hook into the third stitch, then work 2 incomplete double crochets. Then work 3 chain stitches. After finishing, make a slip stitch in the topmost stitch of the first flower pattern. The third round of lace is now completed. Next, we'll work the fourth round without breaking the yarn. First, make a turning chain. Pay attention, now we need to turn the blanket over to the wrong side. That means we were originally crocheting from right to left. After turning it over, we'll start working on the adjacent side. The pattern for the fourth round is the same as the third round. The position of the first group will be half of a normal pattern, and then we'll complete the other half at the end. In the middle, we'll simply repeat the full pattern. After turning the fabric over, insert the hook into the hole in the middle of those two V-shaped patterns from the previous round. And first work a slip stitch. Then work 3 chain stitches. Then work 1 double crochet. After that, work 3 chain stitches. At this point in the fourth round, work 3 incomplete double crochets. Thread through the first 2 loops. Thread through the first 2 loops again. Thread through the first 2 loops. Now there are 4 loops on the hook, and pull through all 4 loops at once. The first small flower is now completed. Next, work 3 chain stitches. The pattern for this row is to work 3 small flowers in each hole. We've already completed half of it. Now insert the hook into the 3 chain space from the previous row. Work 1 single crochet. Work 3 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the same stitch, and work 1 single crochet. This forms the first group of the pattern. It's half of a complete flower pattern. Next, work 3 chain stitches. Still in the large space between the 2 flowers, work 3 incomplete double crochets. Thread through all the loops at once. Next, work 3 chain stitches. Repeat the process again. Work 3 incomplete double crochets. Draw through all the loops at once. Next, work 3 chain stitches. Repeat again, working 3 incomplete double crochets in the same stitch. Then draw through all the loops at once. We'll work 3 of these small buds in one space. Next, 3 chain stitches. Still in the small space from the previous row's 3 chains. Insert the hook into the small loop between the 2 large flowers, and work 1 single crochet. Then 3 chain stitches. Insert the hook into the same stitch, and work another single crochet. This is a standard flower pattern crochet. Starting from here, first work 3 chain stitches, then in the V-shaped pattern from the previous round, work 3 buds, connecting the buds with 3 chain stitches in the middle. Then work 3 chain stitches, and insert into the space of the previous 3 chains to work 1 single crochet. Now I'll demonstrate how to finish the last connection. This is the second to last flower pattern before the end. Once this flower pattern is done, the last stitch will be a single crochet, worked on top of the 3 chains. Now we need to complete the remaining part. Next, work 3 chain stitches. Then work 3 incomplete double crochets in this space. Work 3 chain stitches. You can see that both sides have complete buds. But in the middle, we made a pattern with 3 chains and 1 double crochet. So after completing the 3 chains, we'll work 2 incomplete double crochets. 1 stitch. 2 stitches. Then pull through all loops at once. There is a stitch on top of these 3 chains and the double crochet. Insert into that stitch and work a slip stitch. This is how the last stitch is done. I've now completed the 4th round of crocheting. Next, I'll start the 5th round, which will be the final round for this blanket. Same as before, at the beginning of the first bud of the first group, we'll only work half of it, and complete the remaining half at the end. In the middle, simply repeat the same flower pattern. After completing the slip stitch, we'll turn the blanket over. Make sure the blanket is on the right side. Because the blanket is quite large, when working it, you might think you've turned it over, but in reality, it might not be fully flipped. So make sure your blanket is on the right side for crocheting. Once the blanket is on the right side, the first step is still to insert into the left hole of the first large flower, and work 1 slip stitch. What you need to pay attention to is the 5th group of flowers. For the large flower, we still insert into those 2 holes to crochet. At the position of the 3 chains connecting the 2 large flowers in the middle, we need to work 3 double crochets. That's the only thing to note here. After completing the slip stitch, first make 3 chains, then work 3 incomplete double crochets in the same hole. Pull through all loops at once, and the first small flower is done. This row is about working 2 small flowers in 1 hole, and connecting the flowers with 3 chains in between. So after finishing this flower, we'll work 3 chains. Then insert again into the same stitch. And work 3 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all loops at once. The 2 small flowers in the first hole are completed. Next, we'll work 3 double crochets in the hole of the 3 chains in the middle. Here's one thing to note, in row 3 and row 4, after finishing the flower on the left side, we work 3 chains to connect. But in row 5, we don't work any chains at all. Only between the 2 small petals in the same stitch, are they connected with 3 chains. After finishing the flower on the left side, Yarn over. Insert into the 3 chains from the previous row. Work 3 double crochets. Still insert into the same stitch. The 3 double crochets for the middle connecting part are completed. This is how the first group of the flower pattern starts. After completing the 3 double crochets, yarn over, insert into the first hole of the next big flower. Work 3 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all loops at once, then work 3 chains to connect. Then insert into the same hole again, repeat this flower pattern, 3 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all loops at once. Now the 2 groups of flowers in the right side hole are completed. Between the 2 flower groups on the left and right holes, we'll work a picket to connect. After finishing the flower on the left side, first work 1 chain stitch. Then work 3 chain stitches. Next, pick the back bump of the first chain stitch in these 3 chains. Work a slip stitch. Then work 1 chain stitch. Note that this picket is made of 3 chain stitches. There's 1 chain stitch on each side of the picket. The middle connecting part is now completed. Next, we'll finish the flower pattern in the left hole, again working 3 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all loops at once. Then work 3 chains to connect. Repeat again, working 3 incomplete double crochets in the same stitch. Pull through all loops at once. After completing, note that we no longer need to work any chain stitches. Instead, we'll insert directly into the hole made by the 3 chains in the middle. Work 3 double crochets in the same hole. This completes 1 full flower pattern. For the middle section, just keep repeating this pattern. Once the 3 double crochets are done, we move on to the larger flower pattern again. We just need to repeat the same technique as we did earlier. After completing the last 3 double crochets, we need to finish the remaining part of the first flower pattern. The technique is exactly the same. Insert the hook into the right hole of the first pattern, and work 3 incomplete double crochets. Then work 3 chains in the middle to connect. Repeat by working another 3 incomplete double crochets. Pull through all loops at once. This part is the same as before, no difference at all. We can notice that, when completing the full flower pattern, after finishing the group on the right side, we connect it with a picket. The beginning is the same too. After finishing those 2 small petals on the right, we work a picket to connect. First make 1 chain stitch, then start working 1 picket stitch, make 3 chain stitches, go back to the front loop of the first chain stitch among those 3, work a slip stitch, then make 1 more chain stitch. The first V shape corresponds to the 3 incomplete double crochet stitches. The second V shape corresponds to the 3 chain stitches we made at the beginning. We need to work a slip stitch into the V shape that corresponds to those 3 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over, pull through, then chain 1 stitch. Cut the yarn. That's the end of how to crochet this entire blanket.